Hey everyone, Old Guy Jammin' here. Wealth of information in this video regarding amp tones, volume drops, guitar volume, roll-offs, and pedals, and talk of tubes and low output pickups. So I hope you stay tuned through the end because there's years worth of info delivered in this one video. All right, so check it out. Stay tuned. Hope you enjoy. Oh, there is the boy. All right. Good old term. Hey, so every once in a while, just something comes together and it's right, which is this Telecaster. So let me give you a good view of this Telecaster. This is Fender. All right, I know, I said I was done with Fender. But then I saw this thing and it was like, oh my gosh, maybe Fender finally did something right. That's the reason I'm done with Fender, is because they still have bent metal saddles on their modern guitars and or anything. And my gosh, block saddles are the way to go. This has a carved top and it has a maple cap, not veneer, maple cap. Okay, it's beautiful. Jumbo frets, actually medium jumbo frets, but then on the back we've got a mahogany neck and it's set into a mahogany body, which is, when have you seen a Fender with a set neck on anything, right? But why not? So mahogany body, mahogany neck, it's beautiful. The dots line up, they're all where they should be. It's bound around the body and it's bound around the neck. We have a really nice neck joint, of course, because it's set, but it's not set square like a Gibson. It's got some flair to it. It's sexy. The string eyelets right here are buried, so they're flush, which is nice. The symmetry around the electronics cap is nice. It parallels the body. Symmetrical there, which for me is a big deal. I don't know why, but it is. 2 string trees, nice tuners. This is the Fender Special Edition Telecaster. I've had Strats, I've had Telecasters, and they're just not me, but this I tried, and oh my gosh, it's great. Now, it did have EMGs. 5766, I think, is the 2 that were in here. 5766, pretty sure. And right off the bat, I was amazed with this guitar because the action was so low. The neck is amazing. Right now, I don't know if you can, my camera doesn't focus real well. But the neck on this is great. And right now, I'm well below 2.0. I know, because this is a 2.0 flow. My favorite pick in the whole world. Thank you, viewer. This is a 1.1.0. You know, but the action here is, it rivals the action I've got on the Wolfgangs, which is pretty cool. That's trapping a blue Tortex right there. So the action is pretty low. What are these blues? Are they 1.0? Yeah, it's a 1 millimeter blue Tortex, and it's being trapped at the 12th fret. Okay, so I've got 1 millimeter action on this thing. It plays like a dream. And then, but like I was saying with the pickups, I didn't like the EMGs that were in here. I just don't like EMGs unless it's dropped metal. Then I really like EMGs. I think they're great. But for anything else, I'm a passive pickup guy. So I rolled the dice on some, I listened and listened and listened, because pickups, gosh, I've put so many pickups in guitars, I've just gone nuts with it. And so I listened and listened and listened, and I settled on, you know, between the Lawler pickups and the Seth Lover, and I went with a pair of Seth Lover, and they're in these steel rings, so the whole thing is just great. The black knobs are great because there's enough black. The screws here are black, the screws here are black, and the dots are black, so there's enough black on it that the black knobs and switch really set off. The black nut, these are kind of a black nickel down here. But I did have some black nickel hardware, and it just was it clashed. It was too much silver, and none of the silver really matched. So the black's the way to go. So maple cap, mahogany body, and everything. I think this is their wannabe Les Paul. But I would recommend you grab one of these up. I haven't even, it's been on my wall for 6 months. Unplayed because I didn't like the way it played with the EMGs. But I put these Seth Lovers in, and let me tell you, right now, this is the way they're set up. The neck is pretty low, the bridge is pretty high, and I like where it's at. I may pull the screws out of the neck pickup out a little bit just to give it a little more air in the tone on the neck side. It'll thin it out just a little bit more. But the pickups are great. They're very responsive to being adjusted, whether the high or low. They're very responsive to that, which is cool. And another reason I went with the Seth Lover is because they have a minimal difference between the bridge setting and the neck setting. Less than some of the other pickups that I listened to. Kind of bright. I went with 500K pots in the electronics because that's what I had on hand, and I thought, ooh, I wonder if I made a mistake. But I did not put a treble boost in, so the pickups themselves are kind of bright, but I didn't put a treble boost on the volume knob. So if you are bright, rolling off the volume tames it up perfectly. So I have a really nice tone with the volume just rolled off. What I'm finding is with these pickups and this guitars, I've got tonal range like nobody's business because the volume's rolled off right now. The treble response has been cut. If I go to the neck, I can bring that back by rolling the volume back up. Not only do I account for the volume drop in the neck, but I bring some of that brightness back in so that it matches with the bridge better. And they're a low output pickup, which is nice because I can jack up to 3 pedals into this amp and with this guitar without the tone going to mush. If you have high output pickups, and I was looking at Ola for this, he likes to run his the pickups in his guitars are a little lower output so that you can use an overdrive pedal without it overly compressing your tone right away. Without a lot of amplification from the pickups, that amplitude of that input wave stays kind of low, and you can then add to it and flavor it, change it with pedals And until it hits the bus, you know, the max of the amplitude and starts to square wave out, you can do whatever you want with it. But if your pickups are so hot that you're already at the plus minus bus, as soon as you hit a pedal, you've got a square wave situation. It's overly compressed, and it might not sound good, or it just might not be what you want. All right? So, great pickups. I think just everything has come together on this guitar, and I absolutely love it. It's a tonal machine. That's bridge. With the volume rolled off a little bit. In the middle is where I usually play it, which reminds me of my old modern player, which was bright on one side and muddy on the other. And I played it in the middle, but I found I liked that because I had so many places to go with lead. I could go to a real bright lead for down here, so those strings just barked and growled, or I could switch it over and go with a high string, high notes, and have it be really mellow. All right. And this is in the middle. Now, let's show you, just for fun. I don't have an hour, but I could spend an hour with just telling you about this guitar. Here we've got, we'll stay on the bridge, and I'm going to punch it up through a couple of different pedals. Also, one of you, and I tried to look back to find out who, kept bugging me to buy a Mesa Tone Burst because I love the Mesa Flux Drive. And dude kept saying, God, hey man, you got to get the Tone Burst. So, okay. Somebody tells me to do something more than twice, 2 or 3 times, I'm probably going to do it. So I went out and got a Tone Burst, and dude, I love it. So whoever you are, thank you very much. And we're going to put the volume down just a little bit. And I'm going to reach over here and tap my keyboard so I can see my volumes. We're going to go through a couple pedals and show you what you can do with a low output pickup and a nice amp, tube amp, and pedals. I have to turn this down a little bit. So, Tone Burst. That's with the gain about halfway up on the Tone Burst. Off. It's very transparent pedal, and it's great. It's great. All right, and then the Angry Charlie. And then we're not done. Now we can go. That is so good. So good, and that's just still the clean channel on the Marshall. So that's the Tone Burst with the Angry Charlie. Now the OCD. You can hear that brings the mids all the way back into the tone, which is great for what? Well, it's great for leads. So we can just kick off the knob, the volume knob. We can go down quite a bit. idea what I'm playing? And I've still got half a volume left to kick over for lead. All those three pedals are still on. I just rolled the volume off my guitar. Then we go back, middle position, roll the volume off a little. Beautiful. All right, so every once in a while, things come together and I end up happy with what I've done. This is one of those cases. I highly recommend you get one of these carved top, and it's thinner than a Gibson Les Paul also. It's really nice and thin, has the belly cut. I recommend you get one of these and get yourself a pair of Seth Lover pickups. And at first I thought, oh, this is not good. But I kept playing with them, and my gosh, it's just a tonal landscape between the three pickups and your guitar volume and a nice amp and some pedals. I don't know if there's anything you can't do with that. It goes from clean to blues to taking as much distortion as you want without getting overly compressed, and stays fairly tight and chunky, which is good. All right? So you guys all take care. Put that on your list of things to get. And we will see you next time. Nice, right? Yeah. And then we're not done. Now we can go. That is so good. So good, and that's just still the clean channel on the Marshall. So that's the tone burst with the Angry Charlie. Now the OCD. You can hear that brings the mids all the way back into the tone, which is great for what? Well, it's great for leads. So we can just kick off the knob, the volume knob. We can go down quite a bit.